This woman has just found out that her husband has been murdered.
I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am, he's been killed. He's been killed, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
Listen.
No.
Try to calm down.
No.
Listen, right now what we need to get you to the station.
No.
We need to get you to our police station.
I want to see him.
I can't let you stay in, man. We have to do our job. If you want us to find his killer, okay? We need you to calm down. I'm gonna need you to go with these detectives.
She has returned home to find her house has been cordoned off. There are swarms of police, news reporters. She is hysterical and inconsolable. Hours later, her husband walks into the police station. This is True Crime with Emma, and I'm going to tell you the case of Dalia Dippolito. October 2008, and 38-year-old Michael Dippolito hires an escort while his wife is out of town. This escort is 26-year-old Dalia Mohammed. She must have been a very good escort because just 2 weeks later after this interaction, Michael files for divorce, proposes to Dalia and marries her 4 months later. So in less than 5 months, Michael Dippolito has divorced his wife, proposed to an escort and married her. Michael Dippolito had previously been convicted for fraud, but rather than serving a prison sentence, he was given a 28-year probation period. His probation officer, however, never really comes around. Michael is a reformed character. 1 year after marrying Dalia, his probation officer turns up at his door. They have received an anonymous tip that Michael is selling drugs. They search the house and find nothing. Approximately a week later, Michael and Dalia are taking a car ride. The cops pull them over and begin searching Michael's car, stating that they have had another anonymous tip saying that he is selling drugs from his car. They search and again find nothing. 2 weeks later, Michael and Dalia go out to a restaurant. Whilst they're there, the cops apprehend him again. They said they've had another anonymous tip and they want to search his car. They do so, and this time they find a bag of cocaine. Michael is adamant that he doesn't sell drugs, he's being set up. The police have searched his house and car before and found nothing. He's stating that someone planted it there. The police actually do believe him and let him go. The next day, Dalia tells Michael that she is pregnant. They are both ecstatic. They cannot wait for the arrival of their new baby. They're trying to put these odd circumstances in the past, like someone is obviously trying to set up Michael. They're trying to say that he's dealing and selling drugs. A few months go by and Dalia is heading to the gym in the morning while Michael is getting the dogs ready to take them for a walk. Whilst at the gym, Dalia receives a call from the police, and this is where she is told to rush home. When she arrives home, she is told very clearly by police officers that Michael has been shot dead. She breaks down hysterically. She's inconsolable and hysterical. She's very, very upset. There's crime scene tape everywhere. She can't get into the house. Within 18 months of marrying Michael, her husband is now dead. And what started as a very routine morning has turned into a complete tragedy. They take Dalia to the police station to ask her some routine questions. When she's there, they bring in a man in handcuffs, stating like, this was the guy that we found running from your house. Do you know him?
You know who this guy is?
No,
You've never seen him before?
I've never seen him before, ever.
Do you know her?
Put your head up and look at her.
Put your head up.
I've never seen him.
What were you doing coming out of her house?
She's like, no, I've never seen him before. I don't know who that man is. This is the man that they believe has shot her husband. After this, they then bring another man into the room, and this man is Michael Dippolito. Dalia acts completely confused, has no idea what's going on. The police have told her that Michael was shot dead. So what has happened? So back when the police were getting those anonymous phone calls stating that Michael was selling drugs, Michael began suspecting Dalia of making those phone calls and planting those drugs. She was the only person to know that they were going on that car ride. She was the only person to know that they were going to that restaurant. So how did the police find them? At the time, driving back from that restaurant, Michael actually confronts her. He asks her, did you call the police and did you plant those drugs in my car? She's adamant that she did not do that. She actually begins to get quite aggressive and starts driving manically. Michael fears for his own life, so just drops it. When the police found those drugs in Michael's car, they also begin to suspect Dalia. Her reaction is very, very odd. Michael is freaking out, like he is panicking, he doesn't know what's going on. He's saying, someone set me up. He's visibly very upset. Dalia is completely unfazed, like unbothered that her husband is being suspected of selling and dealing drugs, could possibly go to prison. And the fact that her husband is very, very upset, she just doesn't seem to care at all. This doesn't go unnoticed by the police. So Michael suspects his wife of setting him up. The police also suspect Dalia of setting her husband up. To throw Michael off the scent, the next day she lies and says that she is pregnant. Michael is so happy by this news that he completely forgets about all those anonymous phone calls. Dalia, the same day as telling Michael that she is pregnant, contacts her ex in order to sort of hook up. While she's there, she asks him to pretend to be a lawyer, to confront Michael and to say, if you want to get off your probation, if you want the police to leave you alone, you need to transfer the house into your wife's name. The ex did this. He followed through with this plan. Michael believed him and he transferred that house into Dalia's name, believing that it would get the police off of his back. All those anonymous phone calls, he'd be off probation. It was a very long probation period. It was 28 years. So he kind of saw this as like a ticket free. He was going to have a child with Dalia. They were going to be a family. So to him, it didn't really matter. So he transfers his house into Dalia's name. Dalia, I think we now understand by this point, just wants the money and the house. In order to get that, she needs Michael gone. Dalia is a very attractive and charming woman and often in life got what she wanted very quickly. As you can see with Michael divorcing his wife and marrying her, she was used to getting what she wanted and using her looks. Dalia contacts another ex-boyfriend and asks him if he can find a hitman to murder her husband Michael. She'll get the house and all the money, they'll both be rich. This doesn't work though, and this ex-boyfriend goes straight to the police and tells them that Dalia has asked him to take a hit out on her husband, Michael Dippolito. They then put cameras in his car and ask him to go and meet Dalia and begin questioning her about her plan. They also instruct him to go along with this plan, agree to it, and say that he has found a hitman for her. When the ex-boyfriend meets up with Dalia in his car, they record Dalia giving him $3,000, a picture of Michael, and a picture of their house. The police have instructed this ex-boyfriend to go along with the plan and they will supply him with a hitman being an undercover cop. Dalia then meets up with this undercover cop, believing this is the man that's going to murder her husband.
We're staying in here, right?
Alright, yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna talk get some stuff out the way.
Alright, cool.
I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna do it and when exactly it's gonna be done. Alright? And if you got recommendations, you know what you want, what you know about him. Dude, is he your husband or something? Boyfriend? Your husband? How many y'all been married? No, for real, because the thing is, you know, after I talked to you today, you know, this phone, garbage,
Okay.
you won't be able to get a hold of it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that, you know, it's what you want. You sure you want to kill this dude?
Do we really have to?
Alright.
You know, it's just, I'd rather be as less, you know, whatever with you.
Alright.
Just 6 months after marrying Michael, she is now taking a hit out on him for his money and his house. So they come up with this plan that Dalia was going to leave early, go to the gym, so that this man could enter her home and murder her husband. So the morning of the murder, or the supposed murder, Dalia leaves, goes to the gym. But obviously it's not a hitman that turns up to the house, it's the undercover cop. He arrives at the Dippolito's household, knocks on the door, Michael answers. He explains to Michael that he is an undercover cop and that his wife, Dalia Dippolito, has tried to hire a hitman to murder him. They just tell Michael to make himself scarce for a few hours and they set the scene to make it look as though there has been an actual murder at that house. They set up crime scene tape all around the household. They get news reporters in and all these news reporters know that this is not a real murder and what they're actually reporting on is a setup. They then phone Dalia at the gym and tell her to rush home because Michael Dippolito, her husband, has been murdered. And this is where we get the scene of her hysterically crying. And it's just really, really awkward. You know, and everyone else in that vicinity, the police, the news reporters, they all know that this is a complete act. She's not upset at all. She planned this. She wanted this to happen. And it's all a massive setup. So when they bring her into the station for just some standard questioning, the first man that they bring in handcuffs saying, "Oh, this guy was running from your house. Do you know him?" That was the undercover cop, the hitman that Dalia hired. She is adamant that she doesn't know him at all. She's never met him before, despite the fact that the police have on camera her meeting with this man and planning the murder of Michael.
At the house, like how
Well,
soon could you do it? And
I
what
could
time
do it
are you gonna-
Wednesday morning. It's gonna be like I break into the house. Didn't think he was gonna be home because everybody works in the daytime.
Right.
I'm gonna think he's at work. Boom, he's not at work. Then he gets 2 in the head. That's it. I take a couple things with me, break a couple windows, make it look like a robbery that went bad.
They then bring Michael, her husband, into the room, and she is completely confused. And then she starts like breaking down, going, "Oh my God, come and give me a hug." And Michael's just like, no, it's now all out in the open. Like, she realizes that the game is up, that something's gone awry, but she is just playing the confused victim still. Police turn around and say to her, "Look, Dalia, stop acting. We know you hired someone to murder your husband. We know you've been trying to set him up for a while now." She goes into complete denial. She's adamant that she has no involvement in any of it, despite the fact that police say, "We have video footage of you meeting up with the undercover cop, with your ex-boyfriend. We have photos and video footage of that." She is still in denial. They try to get her to confess, but she doesn't. She just absolutely denies everything. They take her to prison, and when she's there, she gets her one phone call. She phones Michael and asks him to get her a lawyer.
I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
Like, please, I need an attorney. Can you please help me? This is not true.
Michael's like, "Absolutely not. You tried to murder me." And she is completely narcissistic. She starts going, "Oh, you never loved me. If you did love me, you'd get me a lawyer." It's just complete sociopathic behavior, incredibly selfish. She's not thinking about anybody else. Michael's just like, "No, you tried to murder me, tried to kill me. Why would I get you a lawyer?" She just can't see that, and she begins gaslighting him and just trying to manipulate him again into getting what she wants.
Get it?
Like, I didn't do anything. Please.
I don't know what to say to you. I can't help you. It's out of my hands.
You're not even trying.
What am I supposed to do?
You're supposed to get me an attorney, please, so I can talk to you.
Michael, in this phone call, being the person that he is, even just says to her, "Look, just give me back the house and I'll drop the charges." Now that, to me, is a really good deal. Just give me my house back and then you don't have to go to prison. Like, I'll just drop the charges. She doesn't take it. She's just like, "No, I didn't do anything and you need to hire me a lawyer."
You sign my house back over to me. I'll help you, Mom, immensely. Give me my house back. That's it.
That's it, what?
I'll have the papers sent over to you somehow. You'll sign them over to me, and then I will help your mother. Okay?
I'm not signing anything.
At trial, Dalia's defense was that it was all a hoax and Michael was in on it as well, and that they both wanted to just be on TV and be like reality stars. That was the line of defense that they took. It didn't obviously work, and she was found guilty and received 20 years. She showed absolutely no remorse, no guilt throughout the whole thing, even when she was sentenced. However, 1 month later, the whole trial was thrown out on a technicality, and because of this, she was then just put under house arrest. She was removed from jail. She didn't have to spend her time in prison anymore. So she was put on house arrest whilst she waited for a new trial. 2016 was her second trial date. Again, her defense was that she was just chasing fame. They wanted to be famous. She also said that the police set her up because they were jealous of her good looks. The police also wanted to be famous and were just using her. She said that they edited the videos of her with her ex-boyfriend and the undercover cop, and that there was actually someone else there threatening her to go along with it. Basically, it was all a big hoax, and they used Dalia and her attractiveness to try and make a story and get famous and be on the telly. That was her line of defense again. Again, it didn't work, and she was found guilty and received 16 years with no chance of parole. All of her appeals since have been denied, and she will not be released until 2032, when she will be around 50 years old. The judge also granted that Michael's house be transferred back to him. That was the very interesting case of Dalia Dippolito, someone that was obviously very narcissistic, got their own way due to the fact that they were very attractive, very charming, sociopathic. You can also listen to my cases on Spotify. I have a podcast, True Crime with Emma. If you have any case suggestions, please let me know. And as always, I will see you next time.